Did WWE just say Shawn Michaels is going to wrestle again? Find out on this week's SmackDown podcast. Hey folks, welcome to the SmackDown podcast. Oh my god, what a SmackDown episode. I am your host, Kyle Tyson. Rob Roode and Mr. Benji are both on excursion, their vacations right now. I think Benji is actually doing stand-up comedy. Rob, I think, is... God, you know what? Rob tells me all the time what he's doing, and I swear I never pay attention. Sorry, Rob. Well, anyways, we have a guest host. Sebastian, what's going on, bud?
Not much. Just finished watching a pretty entertaining episode of SmackDown, if I gotta say so myself.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah, that's right, dude. Sebastian, dude, came, saved the day. Oh my god, I thought I was going to record SmackDown all by myself. I put out the notice on there. Who answers the call? Mr. Sebastian, dude. We owe you a debt of gratitude. In fact, if you don't mind me saying, dude, Sebastian was so committed for this opportunity. You went out and bought your mic tonight, didn't you?
I did. Yeah.
Dude, that is commitment right there.
Yeah, I went out and bought it. It's been something I've always been kind of wanting to try, and I saw the opportunity and I took it. So.
Dude, and SmackDown's the land of opportunity, right?
Absolutely.
Man, you fit in the tone, man. You fit the tone. Anyways, folks, we are the SmackDown podcast. We cover all your main WWE main shows like Raw, SmackDown, NXT, 205 Live. Word's still out on NXT UK. I gotta get up with Benji about that, you guys. I'm slacking here. I'm slacking, okay? We cover the pay-per-views as well. What else? We cover the NXT takeovers. We'll do some of the big shows. AEW, New Japan. Sebastian, do you watch anything outside of WWE? Do you have a favorite show outside of them?
I'm very interested in what AEW is doing. I try to watch as much as I can of New Japan.
Yeah.
I don't have New Japan World for some reason. My bank card just won't work with it. I've tried to call the bank. It just won't do it. I don't understand. So.
Have you caught any of the Wrestle Kingdoms?
Yes.
You have? Oh, man.
Those, the Minions, stuff like that, I always make sure I find a way to watch. But as far as, like I'm behind on the G1 right now, just
Same
because
here.
I ain't have... So, but most of it I gotta find online, something like that. For some reason, I just can't get their app to work with my card. It's a headache. Really.
No, hey, look, I catch a lot of flack too because I'm in the same boat. I always catch their main stuff, like you said, Wrestle Kingdom and Dominion. This is the first year I wanted to catch the G1 Climax, but I haven't kept up like on their week-to-week programming. Unfortunately, there's not enough hours in the day for me.
No, I'm here.
And
it's a great time to be a wrestling fan. When there's so much content and you can't keep up with it, that's good shit.
That's exactly right, man. No, I know that our show personally here at the SmackDown podcast, we know that with the hype that AEW is coming, we're gonna have to cover AEW as well. Yeah, it's just more work for me because everyone else on the show is just voice commentator, but I'm the one doing all the work, the recording, the editing, the uploading, the thumbnails. God knows, no one ever told me when we created a YouTube channel that thumbnails would be such a big deal. But apparently thumbnails, dude, are a huge deal in the YouTube world. Speaking of YouTube, you guys, most of you, I think, are listening to us on Podbean, which is awesome. If not, you can find us on Podbean at smackdrawpod.podbean.com. You can also find us on Spotify. If you're not on YouTube, do us a favor. Please hop on YouTube. In the search bar, type in SmackDown Podcast, 3 words. Hit that like button. Subscribe. Be a part of the first 100 subscribers to our show. Help us get that custom URL that we are trying for so goddamn hard. And it turns out it is super hard to get that first 100 subscribers. Everything I read was true, man. It is hard to get that first 100 subscribers, but you can be a part of it. get us that custom URL so we can launch that on our Twitter channel. We would be so grateful. We are also doing a giveaway on the show. I bet I didn't even tell you about this, Sebastian, so you may want to pay attention. You might get in on this.
Alright.
Just giving away a pack of some wrestling cards. Once we pick up momentum, I'm going to do this more often. But all you have to do to enter right now is after the show, during the show, whatever, hop on Twitter, put out there, listen to @SmackDrawPod. Just make sure to @ the podcast channel when you do this. Or you can put out there and Mr. Rob Rude or his Twitter handle, which is @2wordscan'tseeme. That is TWO and C, the letter C. And say what his favorite wrestler is, which, spoiler alert, is just HBK. Just @Rob and say it's HBK, dude. There you go. And at the end of the week, we'll pick a random winner. You'll get a chance to win the 2019 Road to WrestleMania pack of WWE Top Cards, where you have a chance to win the 40th Anniversary Intercontinental Championship autographed card. It's not a guarantee, but you might get an autographed card in there. That's pretty badass. But that's really it. Oh, speaking of Twitter, you can find me @the Kai Tai Show. And Sebastian, I've already forgotten your Twitter handle. I'll let you plug it.
It's very original. @WrestlingFan_32.
So, was the 32 auto-generated?
No. It's actually a long story about that handle.
Really?
Yeah.
No, indulge us, man.
I wasn't going to use this Twitter for, just talking wrestling. Back in the day, I really wanted to do, like, a YouTube, like Brendan Plays, and all that, like a universe mode.
Okay.
And record all that and do it like video games and just wrestling video games. And my laptop broke down. I didn't have a way to edit anything or anything like that. And I just gave up on it and just started doing this. So
on the Twitter handle. You've acquired a modest following, man. You've got a bigger following than anyone here on the show, actually. I think you got something like, 3,500 followers?
38, I think. I just
sorry, Mr. Big Shot.
Today. I don't know. I would really like to hit 4,000 before SummerSlam. That's my goal.
Hey, let's make it happen on the show, man. Let's make it happen. You said, go ahead, give that Twitter handle one more plug.
WrestlingFan_32.
Hey, make it happen. Anybody on the show, make sure to give Mr. Sebastian a follow. We'll make him return the favor, and we'll have you hop over to our YouTube channel and give us a subscription. How's that sound?
Excellent.
Fair trade, man. Fair trade right there. But tonight's show, we are here to talk about SmackDown. Now, I was mentioning to you before the show began that, unfortunately, half of the show was a little choppy for me, but I tried to pay attention as well as I could. I actually was getting off work just as the show was beginning, but I did have it streaming on my phone. Granted, now, while I was driving, folks, I'm letting you know I was listening to it. I was not taking my eyes off the road. That would be dangerous. But I was listening to it, and there was some good stuff. It sounded like, especially my highlight of the night was the Miz TV with HBK. I won't spoil why it was so good, but that for me got like the hair standing up. What about you, man? Anything stand out to you?
That segment and Kofi and Orton's promos were right up there as well for me.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear your take on that because my unfortunately my signal cut out, so I missed a lot of that. But Mr. Rob Rude, who was recording with me prior to this, he went into some detail, and he said that segment got him. He said he's a big Randy Orton mark, and he said that those boys delivered on the mic tonight. So I'm excited to hear more about it.
Really, I think everybody that touched the mic delivered tonight.
Yeah,
it was a very good night for promos. It really was.
That's good, man. That's good, and that's what the show needs right now, man. It needs to captivate people, and it's I'm not saying that these guys can't captivate us in the ring, but I mean, we know the old story, man. WWE falling victim to bad storytelling and really losing people's interest due to whatever. And one of the ways that you can get people's attention back on a weekly television show where wrestling matches can't really go longer than 5 or 10 minutes is you make sure that those promos come with some fire. And I think you're right, actually. Now that I'm looking back on it, because I've had such a busy night, but now that I've had a chance to kind of reflect, yeah, you're right, man. Everybody tonight really took a stand when they got a hold of that microphone. So I missed the opening here because I came to when Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon were already out. Kevin Owens on the ramp, Shane McMahon in the ring. Kevin Owens challenged him to a match at SummerSlam. Did I hear this correctly? Is this just a straight up match, or did they say it was going to be like an I Quit match? I heard like Kevin Owens said he might quit he'll quit if he loses, but was the match an I Quit match or just a standard match by this point?
It's a straight up match right now. I thought they was teasing an I Quit match myself.
That's what it sounds like to me too.
I was waiting on it, but right now, as far as I can tell, it's just a straight up match.
It's probably going to divulge into an I Quit match, and whoever quits the company. Gets off TV. Which God knows if you've listened to the show before. Shane, you better lose, bro. Like you better lose. Oh my God,
I'm right there with you. Shane takes my blood's
yeah, no. Oh, Dan, you don't got to hold back here, man. You don't got to hold back. We try not to drop too many F-bombs, but otherwise, man, don't hold back on the show. Like, yeah.
I'm just a very anti-Shane McMahon. And it's not very anti-him. It's just the amount of time that he takes. I think it's just...
There's a lot more people, man, that I'm just itching to see. And the more time Shane's on television, man, the more time it's taken away from those guys. And it's time for you to go. It's crazy when you look back. So I don't know much about your wrestling history, but I assume that you've been watching for some time now. And
yeah. The first wrestling memory I have, and I'm only 24. I'll be 25 this month.
Okay.
Or next month. So I'm young. The first wrestling, I've went back and watched some of the Attitude Era and stuff like that as well. But the first memory I have from just watching was 2003.
Okay. Actually, that's gonna. I have a really good question for you. I'm gonna save for the end of the show. I'm gonna type it down here in a second. Okay. Now that I know how old you are, but no, what I was gonna say is, it's funny looking back when Shane re-debuted after being away from the company for like 8 years or so, and the crowd blew up to hear Shane McMahon's music, and he came back and everybody missed him. And now here it is only a couple years later, and all we want to do is just get him off our TV. And it's crazy to see that dichotomy there, that just how quickly we can go from just you are the man and we love you to like, please, for the love of God, go away for like 6 months and then only come back to receive a stunner and go away for another 6 months. It's...
Well, I have a lot of different views on that. One, he's way too overexposed. I think that's the main issue.
Preach it.
He's just plain overexposed. But today's fans, I've noticed, it's a lot different than what it used to be. Just the patience of some fans.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get tired of things way quicker than they used to be. Just things like that. But as far as Shane goes, it's just overexposure. When you're taking up 45 minutes to an hour between everything you do out of 5 hours a week?
Yeah. Taking up like about damn near 20% of the weekly programming on one person. Wrapped up in multiple storylines?
Stuff and outside, or inside the ring, it's just too much.
Well, look at how many feuds he's a part of. He's a part of a feud with The Miz, Roman Reigns, Kevin Owens. Yep. He's got lackeys. He's trading off his lackeys between Elias.
I'm sure Cedric will be brought back up between him and Shane somehow eventually.
Yeah, Cedric, and then you got the Revival too, even there. So you're looking at like 6 superstars that could be doing their own thing, but all are fixated on Shane McMahon for one reason or another, which prevents
Drew
them.
McIntyre is hurt more than anybody from it.
Yeah, no. The person that's hurting the worst is Drew, because Drew is
Well,
in.
by far.
I've said it before. Drew's the future. Drew is the future of the
Absolutely.
company. Boy, you could put him as the face of the company for a solid 3+ years, man, and he'll deliver everything from face, heel work. Drew is just the total package, man. He is the Lex Luger of today's
Absolutely.
wrestling, man. And but yet he's wrapped up in his like third or fourth stint as henchman and to Shane
Yeah.
McMahon. So it's man,
And
it's
I will say this: there was a couple of weeks there in a row where it seemed like they was kind of turning the page a little bit and starting to build up Drew a little more by Shane talking him up. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And
no,
then
absolutely.
they just like went totally away from that and went right back to Shane.
Yeah, man.
Uh,
And I wanted to put it out there and we never really got a big response, but I really wanted for someone to give us an in-depth look at why they think Shane is getting this frankly absurd push this last several months, because this type of push hasn't been used for a main roster superstar. Excuse me. God knows I can't recall anybody in years that have been wrapped up in as many simultaneous storylines, given as much exposure. Hell, even Roman Reigns didn't get as much airtime, I think, as Shane McMahon did when Roman Reigns was being shoved down our throat. You know,
no,
it,
he did.
yeah. So it's crazy to think like why go overtime on Shane O'Mac, and the only thing I could think of was it was a combination of nepotism. He is the boss's son, and the fact that Vince believes that Shane's a draw, which Shane arguably was a draw, but it was when he was being used like a special attraction, like once in a while, like a holiday. And also probably because Shane's probably coming to the end of his career, his in-ring career. He's like 48. He's getting close to 50, and he was just like, Dad, just let's get the most out of me while you can. And then Shane's like, or his dad's probably just like, fucking let's just use you, like to just like no extent. Like, it's crazy. It's great. That's the only thing I can think of, man. He's at the end of his career. He's his father's son, and
Yeah.
his dad thinks he's a draw. So let's use him as much as possible and probably milk him for what he's worth. But it's not technically the proper way you do it. But
No,
I don't know, man. But it's absurd. It's absurd. I can't think of anyone else that's been pushed this hard in recent years as Shane McMahon has.
not since the Attitude Era,
No.
and it was McMahon's back then.
Yeah, McMahon's, man. Though, nepotism runs deep in the WWE. I tell you
And,
what.
I mean, it's to the point where I just roll my eyes when he comes out.
I hear you, man.
I automatically lose interest even when Shane comes out.
Yeah. Well, the segment goes. Kevin Owens challenges Shane McMahon to a match at SummerSlam. I don't think Shane fully accepted, but he did say that, you put your hands on me, we won't have that match. And then he sets up a match for later in the night against Roman Reigns of all people, which is weird. You get the face versus face, which you rarely ever see. But yeah, so Shane sets up the match between Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns as the main event. We cut to backstage. Elias and Drew McIntyre are singing Shane McMahon's praises. He uses the opportunity to assign them as Drew, the special guest referee, Elias, the special timekeeper, right? And then
Yeah.
Shane himself will be the ring announcer. So yeah, it's, you said roll your eyes moment. That to me was just like, boy, nothing new's coming. But I was still intrigued by the face versus face, how they
Yeah,
were
that
going
was
to do it.
interesting. That was
Yeah.
when they announced that, I was like, well, that's an interesting opponent to choose, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Because my initial thought he was going to face Drew McIntyre. I was like, oh, he's going to set up against Drew McIntyre, and Elias will be out there, to back
Dude,
him up.
I thought he was going to say Dolph Ziggler, and I was about to throw my phone. So.
Dude, I'm with you, man. Oh my God, do you watch the show? Because I am with you. Like, seriously.
And that's not knocking. I actually like Dolph, but
overexposure.
That too, but just the KO and Dolph just doesn't do anything. And we've seen it how many times in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, you're very, very true, man. We get Apollo Crews up next facing Shinsuke Nakamura. And boy, dude, did Apollo Crews get a strong showing in this match. Like, Nakamura got, 5% offense? Like, the rest was Apollo.
Yeah, and some of that 5% Nakamura got. You can kind of see the strong style coming out in him, you know?
Yeah.
Little hints of that. And he seems so much more motivated now than he did, before he was off TV for so long.
Mm-hmm. How about Apollo selling that second rope, like, sliding, like, German that Nakamura does? Dude, Apollo looked like he broke his neck on that. Oh my God.
Apollo's really, I've never been too high on Apollo, but his matches with Andrade the last couple weeks and this one, he's starting to get over on me a little bit. Yeah,
man. Apollo is somebody that you'd like Benji, man, because Benji's like a wrestling encyclopedia. He definitely has like a very large wealth of wrestling knowledge, and I love how he breaks Apollo Crews down, because Apollo is like a man with arguably some huge potential, but was kind of just like, it's kind of like a meal that was pulled from the oven too quickly, it's Apollo wasn't given enough time in NXT and other areas to develop, so he has all this talent, but nobody really knows who he is. We all are familiar with his name by now, don't get me wrong, but you ask someone, who's the character Apollo Crews, and you're not going to get a consistent answer. And so that's why it's hard to appreciate him. But I feel like between NXT, he was on NXT last week, and the stuff they're doing on SmackDown with him, it does seem like they're putting in an effort. Not to mention the New Day on commentary, which we forgot to mention earlier.
They were putting them over.
Yeah.
Over.
So I forgot to mention Byron Saxton, unfortunately, wasn't on commentary this week. His father passed away the last day or two, and so he's obviously he's taken some time off to grieve. Well, Corey Graves wasn't on commentary either, so they had Xavier Woods and Big E on commentary most of the night, along with David Otunga. Oh my God, I thought I was going to forget his name. I'm surprised I remembered. David Otunga were out there, along with oh God, damn! Now I forgot the other guy's name.
Tom Phillips.
Oh, thank you, Sebastian. Oh boy, you're going to be full time over here now. Tom Phillips. Yeah, did New Day not add to commentary for the majority of the night? Oh my God, they were gold, man.
They was out there, I think, until Kofi came out, and I enjoyed them the whole time they was out there.
Yeah, especially with the Miz TV segment, but yeah, no, they were. Xavier Woods was going hard on putting Apollo Crews over, and it was working, man. It was. He added to the match. Not taking anything away from Corey Graves and Byron Saxton, but hearing the week in and week out bickering and fighting over, like, on commentary while a match is going on can, like, distract you, where this really felt like they were padding up the match. They were adding to it. You know what I mean? Like, by the end of this, it made him feel like a bigger deal, didn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I'm a big guy on commentary. Okay?
Yeah.
I think they can add so much to any any one person, any match, whatever you want the case to be, they can really help it. And like you said, the bickering and fighting, and it's not just Byron and Corey, it's Raw too.
Yeah.
It's both of them. They don't even focus
on the match. If it's not Corey and Byron, it's Corey and Renee Young. Corey just likes to fight with everyone.
Yeah. And we'll talk about it later on. They didn't commentate the whole night. They kind of switched it up halfway through the show.
They did. Yeah. It was refreshing, man. It felt new. Like it felt really. It felt different, and it was a good different.
Yeah, and even though that was, I mean, I don't know if they just drew names out of a hat, or who goes where, what, but I enjoyed the commentary.
Yeah, me too, man. Me too, absolutely.
And they was a article saying Shawn was going to guest commentate tonight, Shawn Michaels, and well, I guess we found out later not why.
Yeah, we'll find out what happened with that. But so during the match, Apollo Crews got about 95% of the offense in. He owned the whole match. Like, he was owning the match going into commercial. And so my instinct was like, okay, we're going to come back from commercial. Nakamura has taken over. He's had, Apollo Crews in a headlock for the last 5 minutes. Like, no, Apollo's still going to town. The match only came to an end after Crews hit an Olympic slam. Nice to hear them call it an Olympic slam. You don't hear that too often. You had to refer to it as angle slam for a long time.
Yeah.
But Nakamura kicked out. Ultimately, was able to turn it around and got a Kinshasa, like, out of nowhere, essentially. And was able to get the win over Apollo Crews. By no means did this make Apollo Crews look weak, though. And that's good.
No, I think Apollo came out looking better with what happened tonight than winning on a roll-up today and losing a title match next week.
Bam. Yes. Perfect. And then Nakamura didn't look like a fool either. Nakamura still looked dangerous as hell. Because it's kind of like that whole it only takes one.
I don't know if you watch during the commercials when they have the little box up. Some people don't. Nakamura did get some offense in during that time. So,
yep.
So total, I wouldn't say 95-5. But it was mostly Apollo. No doubt.
So, unfortunately, my cable provider, their app won't let me watch USA if I'm not attached to my Wi-Fi. So I had to stream using a UK server, and they don't have the picture-in-picture.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Nakamura did kind of control that little part.
Okay. That makes sense. So after the match, two things really stuck out to me. Nakamura continued the beatdown after the match to, reassure his dominance. He's got to look deadly. Rob Roode, he hates it when champs look weak or get pinned. He's not a fan of the cowardly champ angle, or the weak championship or the weak champion angle, which I do agree with him most of the time on it. And this kind of seemed to play on that. Nakamura continued the beatdown, but my favorite part about this was Xavier Woods yelling on the mic like, "Apollo, where's your friends?" He's like, "Apollo, where's your friends?" Like,
yes.
Now, my stream was in and out. Was he referring to anything specific, or was he just playing on the beatdown and like someone needs to help Apollo Crews?
I think that was it.
That was honestly. It. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And personally, where it was just a one-on-one beatdown, I didn't have much of a problem with that.
Yeah.
But say when it's a 3-on-1, whatever, and if that would have happened, I'd have probably had a problem with that because I'm big on logic too.
Yeah.
So I think if it's 3-on-1, they do this way too much, like Ricochet not too long ago when the club was beating the crap out of him.
Uh-huh.
You'd think Ricochet would have a friend come out.
Right.
Have him.
No, you're absolutely right. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
So I think they did good with that just because it was a one-on-one beatdown.
Mm-hmm.
And it'd make Apollo look weak if you had.
Yeah, exactly. Your friends got to bail you out, you know what I mean? But because at the end of the day, Apollo really looked like the winner in that match.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think he came out looking better than what usually happens.
Give it a day or two. When I recall the match, someone's going to have to remind me that Nakamura actually was the winner. Because all I remember is Apollo doing 90% of that offense.
Yeah.
We cut backstage. This segment was in and out, so if there was anything more to this, let me know. We saw Fire and Desire, Sonya Deville, Mandy Rose. Mandy was revealing to Sonya that she talked to, I think, Shane McMahon and secured a tag title match next week versus the Kabuki Girls. Well, Kabuki Warriors, but here on the show we refer to them as the Kabuki Girls. And then I heard something about tag celebration or appreciation, but like I said, my signal was in and out at that point at best.
Wait, did you say Kabuki Girls was the champs? Iconics champs?
The Kabuki... Oh, you know what? No, you're right. They're not the champs. The Iconics are. What the... That shows you right there WWE's booking. That the...
Well, Mandy messed up her lines anyway.
For real?
Yeah. Like, I don't even know what she said, because she said what I thought she said. Or what you thought she said, that we get a title match next week.
Oh, okay.
And then Sonya was like, so we get a title match this week? She says, yes, if we win next week, then we deserve a title shot. Oh. So I don't know if they were having a non-title match. I don't know if they're having a non-title match.
How bad is this that I run a wrestling podcast and you had to remind me that the Kabuki Girls are not tag champions?
Well, really, the only reason I caught it is because when that happened, I was in my head, I was like, so are we just forgetting about this count out we had last week? So they win by count out, they get screwed, and they just get put in the back of the line now.
Oh yeah, that's good.
So
no, that's good.
What I see them doing is maybe a triple threat at SummerSlam. Is what I could see.
Oh, me too. You know, because the thing is we haven't got much exposure to Kairi Sane and Asuka in the ring, but what we have seen is that those girls work on a different RPM in the tag division than a lot of these female tag teams. Like those girls can string together tag team moves very quickly and look very fluid. Not to say that it, that Mandy Rose and Sonya look sloppy and the Iconics, by all means, the Iconics, those girls have in-ring chemistry like nothing else. They just don't get booked that way. They're booked like I said, Rob Roode hates the cowardly heels that can't get a win. But if you let those girls, but if you let them actually use their talent, those girls are actually really good as a tag team. Like they're very in sync. But yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, you wouldn't know it, but
Billie Kay has one of the best big boots in the,
she does, man. She does.
But you wouldn't know it if you just watched the tag title run.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. This, and Mr. Rob Roode, my Raw and SmackDown co-host, he is a huge Iconics fan, and it's funny. Since we started the podcast right around the time that they got the titles, and boy, has he soured. It's funny if you were to listen to like episode 1 or 2, and I guess if we're talking about them, and then now listen to one of our recent episodes, that dude has done a 180. Like he can't stand them down. Like he can't, because he watches he enjoys the product from the kayfabe stance. He allows himself to believe the stories. He's not like us online who are judging it and trying to rewrite the show ourselves in our own head. He really is trying to enjoy the product, in his words, as a child, believing in the product, believing it's real. He really tries to do that for himself, and I commend him for it. Rob is an awesome co-host for that, because he has such a unique stance on how he watches the product, where most of us are kind of cynical and acting like know-it-alls. He tries to keep himself away from that, and that's pretty cool to me. But so when he sees how the Iconics have been cowardly heels like the whole time, dude, he hates them. He like buys into it like 100%. He hates it, dude. I love it, man. It's so cool. I love Rob, man. So good. I'm glad you clarified that because I really thought that was a tag title match next week.
Well, like I said, it might be. I had to go back and rewatch it to make sure I just wasn't hearing things. But yeah, she messed it up. I don't know if it's a tag title match, non-title.
I'm fairly certain it's a non-title match, and then we're gonna get the title match for SummerSlam, and that's when we'll probably get a set of tag team champions. I don't think they're gonna at this point. They're not gonna move those belts before SummerSlam. Otherwise, they would have already. You know.
Yeah, it wouldn't make sense either. So.
Now, how about Ali in this next promo though? Man, you need, like, SmackDown Creative needs whoever is on the inside with Ali helping him with these promos, whether it's himself and a buddy and he's doing it all on his own. They need to take some notes from this guy because, dude, Ali's promos week in and week out feel different from the entire product, and it is so good. I loved the whole narrative of this, that he is taking back control of his career and his current run in WWE, and he addresses that he was lined up for a title shot, he was injured, went to Kofi, and now history has been written differently than it was supposed to be, but he's taken the pen back. If that pen ink runs dry, he'll use his own damn blood to write it out. And he was calling out people on Earth. He was calling out damn God. He was like, I don't care if it's the man in the sky. Like, nobody's getting in my way. And dude, I was hook, line, and sinker this whole promo, man.
His promos have been one of the best things produced by WWE.
It's fire, man. Oh my God.
They're unique. They're passionate. It's 100% him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's his character, and that's what attaches you.
Even
to
the
character.
camera work. It's not even the same camera. Like, it looks like he's got his own little, like, forgive me guys because I'm not really a tech guy, but like a DSLR camera, or like he's not using the standard camera with the black backdrop. It looks like he's got his own camcorder. He'll walk the streets of Chicago, or he's in like a different room. Like, the video production looks different from the entire show, and it makes him stand out even further. And that it comes down to the damn camera. Yeah, man.
There's nothing fake about it. It's him, and that's what attaches. It's not fake at all. That's 100%.
That's an awesome way to put it. It is authentic, man. It's an authentic character right there. And who would have thought too, if you saw Ali, like Mr. Mustafa Ali, who came out, I believe, in the 205 Cruiserweight Classic.
Yeah.
And then on 205 Live in the beginning of that show, this dude was a nobody. He was not on anybody's radar. The only thing this guy was known for probably 2 years was that reverse 450 splash. That was it. That was the only thing. And now this dude's character is like more captivating than almost anybody on the main roster. And he doesn't even wrestle yet. You know, like, he's not even in the ring, dude. Like, oh.
Yeah, he never really turned it on until the last few months up to 05. He's went nowhere but up.
When Triple H was given the keys to the kingdom, that's what it was.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Vince was like, I can't do anything with the show.
His disqualification against Buddy Murphy was just...
I'm telling you, man.
Something up.
Speaking of Buddy Murphy, where the hell was he?
Buddy, I know.
Yeah, man, he came out last week and then he was gone.
I figured he'd be a Shane McMahon henchman. Actually, I kind of, when I fought a Dolph earlier before he announced Roman, he kind of popped in my head after last week.
Oh, that would be a good point, yeah. Yeah, because Shane was like, I'll have you in my back pocket. Well,
yeah.
Apparently Shane's wearing different jeans. Oh, so here's my segment of the night, the Miz TV. Oh, this was it, bro. This was it. I am hooked. I'm probably too hooked. I am probably too hooked.
No, you're not.
But, dude, Shawn Michaels is going to wrestle again. Like, Shawn Michaels is going to get in the ring, and he's going to wrestle mini Shawn Michaels. He's gonna wrestle Dolph Ziggler. Like, no way. Like, is this gonna happen? Oh, there's no. Oh, I swear to God, if this turns into Dolph Ziggler versus Shane McMahon with Dolph, or not Shane, Jesus, I'm saying Shane no matter what. If this turns into Dolph Ziggler versus The Miz with Shawn Michaels in his corner, I'm gonna cry, dude. I'm going to cry. This, so Miz TV kicks off. It mainly Miz runs the promo package of the Raw reunion that took place, last night. He introduces Shawn Michaels as his guest. Give it up to the New Day. Xavier Woods and Big E singing Shawn Michaels' entire theme song. It made it so much better. Oh my God. You need to watch this segment just for the New Day singing Shawn Michaels' theme song, because it is gold. Oh, this whole segment, top to bottom, is gold. But essentially, it just kicks off with just any other bland Miz TV. And I love Miz, but his Miz TV segments are typically bland. They're usually used to plug the Miz and Mrs. show. You know what I mean? They're usually just piss breaks.
Miz TV, they had a little stretch where they were all right, but
yeah, but I mean, for the most part nowadays, especially in his face run, and in his face run, they're pretty nuke warm at best. But
that's more about his face run in that show.
But anyways, HBK and the Miz, they start off the segment like any other Miz TV. They're just plugging Seth Rollins match with Brock Lesnar. It looks like it's just a tool to push Seth Rollins even further, which on the Raw episode, me and Rob were saying DX honestly made Seth Rollins look kind of like a geek. But dude, when Dolph Ziggler's music hit and Ziggler started cutting his promo, my mind started swirling over the last couple of years. And I was like, there's always been a kind of like a dream match between Ziggler and HBK. And then Ziggler started dropping the truth bombs on him. The stuff that WWE hasn't mentioned. The stuff like the Saudi Arabia match and how it was embarrassing. It was HBK was in retirement for 8 years and came back and had a god-awful match, dude. And then HBK responded with some fire, and it cut out, so correct me if I'm wrong, but HBK said that was embarrassing. He kind of owned that he was embarrassed, but then I think he flipped it and said, the only thing more embarrassing is being like a second-rate HBK knockoff, which at that point I was like, yo, they are setting up a feud. This is all Ziggler HBK rhetoric right here, man. And it culminated. Ziggler was running his mouth some more. Then Miz spoke up, told him to do something, which is exactly what everyone wanted to happen. Just do something.
Yeah.
Ziggler swings at Miz, or no. Ziggler swings at HBK, hits the Miz, and then oh God, how was it? It ended up with HBK super kicking Ziggler, right?
No, Ziggler super kicked HBK.
Ah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. HBK got super kicked by the Ziggler. Dude, by the end of this, I was like 100.
Can we talk about how well he sold that kick?
Oh, it looked like it hit like a Mack truck, dude. Oh my God, dude.
Holy hell, what a sell on that super kick.
Jesus, the only thing that would have made it better is if there was a glass window he could have gone through.
And that's really how you use a talking segment right there. It's shoot like promos.
Yes.
Like off the cuff.
Oh my God.
Offer your guys intense. And on the very end, the legend giving the rub to the current guy.
Yeah. And I hope, dude, I know HBK is retired, but I mean, I hope it does lead to a SummerSlam match Like that is, you know. So you were touching on it earlier that you Ziggler, you're over Ziggler, and on previous episodes of the show, I've said that it is damn near impossible for me to get excited for anything related to Dolph Ziggler. And I'm not saying it's because I downplay his talent. It's because he's been used in the same exact way just about for the last 5 years running. So it's impossible to mix him up. But this is the one way that people have had in their mind that they've overlooked because HBK has been retired. But in the back of so many minds, I know I'm not alone in this, but there's been so many comparisons. I mean, for one, a ton of new guys get compared to HBK all the time. I mean, it's not Dolph Ziggler alone. I mean, Adam Cole gets compared. Pretty much any smaller guy who's good on the mic and can throw a hell of a super kick is going to get compared to HBK. But Dolph Ziggler has had like a decade-long career compared to this man, and at no point did we ever consider a match would take place, so we've written it off, and now they've teased it. And I am like frothing at the mouth for this damn match. This was like the highlight for me, bro. Like that would be my SummerSlam right there. That would be my SummerSlam main event, dude. That would be it for me right there. HBK.
And when I say I'm over Ziggler, it's not. I don't know how to say. Ziggler can get a good. If you give him time, he can get a good match out of anybody.
Yeah.
It's not the in ring stuff. It's like you said. Use them the same way, over and over again. Constant losses. He hasn't got better at this since he's came back, but you know how he always yelled in promos. But he's got better in that. Now he can actually talk on the mic instead of.
Well, you know what I mean, and you know at SummerSlam he wins, right? He beats HBK. Oh, talk about a like that's how I would book it.
I would do, and I'm not a big guy for Legends coming back. After Extreme Rules, I was kind of wanting a Taker versus Drew McIntyre match because I felt that was enough. Well, 2 weeks from the show now, I don't think it's going to happen. But
not SummerSlam, but more than likely WrestleMania.
Yeah, but I was all for that match happening if Drew went over.
Right.
Because I thought that'd be enough to repair Drew from a bad booking. Mm-hmm. And while I don't know if beating how old is Sean now?
Sean, oh Jesus, he's got to be 50. Yeah.
I don't know.
No, go ahead. I'll get his age, man. You go ahead.
I don't know if Ziggler beating him was enough to fully, repair him, but it's a step in the right direction for sure. And I think Legends should always go down on their back to the current guys. I mean, that's why I'm not a big fan of these reunion shows for the most part. It's always the Legends just embarrassing and that don't do anything for today's product.
Yeah, so Shawn Michaels is, as of 2 days ago, actually, he just had a birthday. 54.
Oh, yeah, I did see somebody put happy birthday, Shawn.
Yeah, he turned 54 2 days ago. Yeah, no, I've been a strong. I mean, you and I actually do. We need to have our own little show together because you and I are on the same wavelength. Yeah, the Legends are often used to put over the no. Hold on. The young talent typically are used to put over the Legends, and unfortunately, it ain't doing nothing for the future of the company.
Like after Raw Monday, what could you look at other than Bray?
Yeah, but
what could you look at
Bray,
and be like, "Well, I'm excited for next week's Raw because of the night."
Yeah, Bray Wyatt went forward. Arguably, Seth Rollins, AJ Styles, Luke Gallows, and Carl Anderson all took a major step backwards.
Well, I will disagree, kind of on the club, and here's why.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm very big on logic. Okay, and you got 3 heels outside the ring and 8 guys in the ring. Are 3 heels going to go with 8 guys?
This was my point. This was my point on that. They all had chairs, and
Okay. Oh,
and
you make it.
everybody in the ring was like old enough to receive AARP. Like it's like
Yeah, but Sass and Aaron, Triple H is still a pretty fit guy.
I know. Yeah. Like
If it was an even number, then yeah, I'd be like, yeah, but they was almost tripled, so that's why I didn't have a problem with it
yeah.
personally. But I can definitely get your argument.
So what I was telling Rob on Raw was that two things was you could have had the OC, which I'm assuming is what they're going by now.
Yeah, what is that?
Original Club. To take a shot at Bullet Club, apparently.
Yeah,
yeah. So, but you could have had OC probably be propelled to the biggest heels in the company, because we as WWE fans, we are conditioned to the legends coming out and making a mockery of the new talent. We're used to it. Yeah. We're not surprised. We will get online and we'll piss and moan and we'll
like
get on
Revival.
Yeah. We'll get on Twitter and we'll piss and moan, right?
Yeah.
What happens when that segment that took place last night went the same way it went last night? However, that ring filled up, right? And AJ Styles looked at Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, and then they kind of like nodded at each other like, they're fucking old. And they took the chairs and they beat them all down. And they beat them down viciously. Those guys, at that point, that crowd who was there to watch the legends, they would have booed them out the building. They wouldn't have cheered them. They would have booed them out the building. And then they would have been booed on every show probably for the next 3 months to a year, depending on how you book it. They'll get booed heavily. And so I was thinking, I was like, now granted, maybe they didn't jump. It is weird because you said it, man. The numbers game was way lopsided.
And we know heels don't like going against the numbers.
Yeah. Exactly. But
I'm not saying it helped them. I think they stayed the same. If they had went in and took the finishers like the Revival did last year, then
I'm happy that didn't happen. So it's not as bad as that. But
I think they stayed right where they were. If they did what you said, then they would have definitely, went forward
and then,
for sure.
Not to mention on SmackDown, had they all agreed to show up on SmackDown, you could have gotten a gold segment of DX and all of them hanging out backstage, all bandaged and beat up, just joking about how they're old and they can't go no more, and then making fun of each other for getting beat up as bad as they did. You could have turned it into a comedy segment that was reminiscent of NWO and DX.
And speaking of that segment, Shawn Michaels tonight, he had a chance to kind of bring it back for Seth. Like, he brought up, Seth versus Brock. Or did I miss it? Did he actually say he was picking Seth to win? Or he thought Seth was good enough? Or was he just talking about how Seth was talking about the match?
Let me see here.
He had a chance to put him over, but I don't think he actually, put him over.
I want to say he started, and Ziggler interrupted before he could really get into it.
Okay. That might have been. Okay.
Oh, no. So I think what it was is Miz brought up the fact that people are complaining it's the old guys taking away TV time from the new guys. And instead of going in on Seth, he was like, I used to be that guy. I was young, and I was like, I wanted the airtime for myself. And he pretty much just aired it out like, look, man, we deserve respect. And not only that, do the new guys not get respect, but if you invite us onto TV, as much as we love and we gave to this business, we're going to come back. You know what I mean? And it was an honest answer. And I said it, like I said it on Raw too, that it only felt like a reunion when Stone Cold went out there and started talking, and he made everybody human. Instead of it was their wrestling personas, but Stone Cold was talking about running to everybody in the hotel, and he made it was like at that point for me, it wasn't a reunion for me to watch everybody on TV reunite. Like, no, this was the talents reunion, and we all just got to watch these guys take part in a personal reunion, which I don't know if that was the point they were getting across, but that was definitely what Stone Cold's promo got across. And
I agree.
Yeah, and all of a sudden I was like, dude, yeah, I'm happy for you guys. Y'all got a moment in the sun. You didn't
It's from the heart.
You didn't kill nobody. Granted, like I said, I would have liked a couple of y'all to get a stunner, or some heels. Some heels do some shit, but at the end of the day, you didn't kill nobody. You didn't. It's not like when the Ascension got buried, or when you said the Revival got buried. No one was like buried, but only Bray Wyatt came out looking better. You know what I mean? And that probably speaks more to fucking Mick Foley. I bet they weren't even gonna do that, and I bet Mick Foley was back there. Was like, look, you got to use me to get someone to look better.
Look,
you know?
I never realized how terrifying the Mandible Claw was.
Yo, so do you think that the Mandible Claw was used as a passing of the torch, and now it's going to be in Bray Wyatt's arsenal, or
I think so.
Or was it used just because Mick Foley's too out of shape to take a Sister Abigail?
I think he's going to use it. I could be wrong, but
because he's got the leather gloves, so that makes sense.
Yeah,
it's not a bare hand. Yeah, I think so too. I think that if the Mandible Claw is in Bray Wyatt's permanent arsenal now, kind of like the stunner is in Kevin Owens, I'm all for it, man. I'm not saying I'll hate on the segment otherwise, but I think it'll mean way more that we will be able to actually see the moment Bray Wyatt adapted the Mandible Claw, and it was on Mick Foley of all people. That tickles me pink, bro. That really does.
And talking about all these, how great that is. I have no problem crapping on bad stuff WWE does, but you gotta give credit where credit's due. They have done a phenomenal job with Bray Wyatt.
With Bray Wyatt, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here's the thing, though. We've been here before.
Yeah.
Bray Wyatt has been here before. It's just like, man, please WWE, put faith in this man.
Funhouse.
Yeah.
Just the effort they went in for this character.
He just needs to win the feuds now. Like, you've done everything else right. Have him win the feuds. Don't build him up like all of these pre-taped segments and all of this shit makes him a credible person for other people to go over. Like, no, you need him to win. He needs to win first.
I wouldn't have a problem. I know some people would because I actually tweeted this and people got mad. I wouldn't even have a problem if he beat the Demon at SummerSlam.
I think that's what's going to happen. I think so, man. I really do.
I hope. Because the Demon has to lose eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the Demon already lost to what?
Off,
he lost to Samoa Joe in NXT, right?
NXT, yeah. But you know how the main roster is with NXT.
It's different, yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah. But if Finn's taking time off after SummerSlam, what's it going to hurt? You know what I mean? That'd be a perfect excuse. Take time off, and if the plan is for him to join the club, and AJ apparently put in an open invitation in an interview or whatever to kind of teasing it, why not? Do it.
Dude,
make Bray look like a badass.
Well, it'd be the perfect way. It'd be the perfect way to get Finn off TV and get him to turn heel. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I don't know if anyone will ever accept Finn as heel, but I think we'll accept it enough to at least get him in the club.
I think they will if it leads to wins.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Everybody likes Finn, but he's losing every single time he's out there.
He is, man. I've said this multiple times on the show that I theorized that Vince McMahon was finally conceded to the new vision of wrestling and was like, okay, yeah, Roman got popped for steroids. I can't get him over, whatever. Triple H, who's your big guy? And Triple H was like, well, Finn Balor is huge. He's got a swell of momentum. You know, trust me, the crowd's gonna shit bricks if you get the world title on him, you know? And Vince was like, okay, I'm believing in you. And so he brings Finn up. He has Finn beat Roman Reigns in the qualifying match. Then he hasn't beat Seth Rollins at SummerSlam, but he got injured and had to relinquish the title in 24 hours. And I swear to God, I really feel like backstage it played out. Vince McMahon was like, I fucking knew it. I'm never going against my gut again. Like, I'm never going to... I swear to God, that's how I feel like it went out,
when all
man.
these guys come up from NXT and struggle, you got to look back at that moment.
It's because Finn got a fucking separated shoulder at SummerSlam.
And I'm not saying that's all of it. Don't get me wrong.
That is all of it.
Like,
No, you're not saying
the
it's all of it, but it's all of it.
in.
Yes.
The one time I went all in on one of these fuckers.
Yep. One of these little NXT rookies, whatever, you know?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man.
They have got better here recently, I think. Ricochet's had success.
A little bit.
Aleister Black.
We haven't had anyone come up as a big deal, though. We haven't had anyone come up as like a...
Nobody Finn Balor coming up winning the Universal title. Nothing like that.
Yeah.
Heavy Machinery's getting good TV time.
Otis is probably the best thing coming out of NXT right now. Otis is like the sleeper hit right now.
Between Heavy Machinery, Ricochet, Aleister Black, you could kind of throw Lars in there before he got hurt. He's starting to kind of, I guess, lean over a little bit. And I think it's because of the ratings, too. I don't think it's all Vince like, yeah, Triple H is right. We got to use these guys. I think it's because of the
Fox
ratings.
Fox is putting the squeeze on him, man.
Yeah, but some of them's starting to get more success now, and I hope that continues.
Yeah,
especially
me too.
when guys like Adam there and Velveteen Dream comes up.
I mean, the truth about it really is that Vince isn't gonna live forever, you know. And I'm not trying to bring this up as mortality that like we're gonna deal with this till he dies, but I mean, the man is gonna have to step away at some point. XFL is, I think, set to debut next year, and there's not enough hours in the day. Vince already said that he's going to be hands-on with the XFL, and so it does really feel like he's going to hand the keys to the kingdom over by next year, and I hope it's to Triple H. Part of me thinks there's a chance, though. I hate to say it, man, and I hope I'm wrong, and I probably am. Let's just put it out there. I'm probably wrong. But on a Hail Mary, what if they got handed over to Kevin Dunn, man? What if those keys were handed over to Kevin Dunn? It would be... oh, my God, it would be more of the same. It would just literally be more of the same. It would be the most WWE thing to happen, too. It really would. It would be the most... It'd be the most WWE thing to happen. Like, oh, Vince is gone. Yes, change has come. Kevin Dunn steps up. And it was like, psych. It's like 10 more years.
I mean, Kevin Dunn's terrible, too. But if you were going to say Shane, I was about to put my head down.
No. Shane's an on-air talent. He's not creative. Shane is an on-air talent.
Well, you could say the same about Paul Heyman now, though.
No, well,
he's on-air talent, and...
Well, Paul Heyman was handed over creative back
just
in the SmackDown, and where SmackDown was, you know, the SmackDown 6 era.
And I loved that era.
Yeah. So he's got some credentials. I could be wrong because I'm not a know-it-all. I talk like I am, but I don't think Shane's ever had any creative freedom with the show. I know that Stephanie has. Yeah, I know that Stephanie and Triple H have. Paul Heyman has. Wouldn't
that be Vince thing to do? Is like, here, son.
Yeah, because Kevin Dunn is pretty much like Vince 2.0. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyways,
I think it's Triple H. I mean, it has to be.
It has to be. It has
after
to
the
be.
success of NXT, what he's done.
And not only
And
that, at
another
205
thing,
Live,
too.
man. He took over 205 Live.
Yeah,
and now
205
it's
too.
must-watch TV, dude.
205 too. And I know a lot of people are like, well, why didn't he offer Raw or SmackDown Triple H? Why would Triple H take it right now?
Triple H should only take it when he no longer has to answer to Vince.
No. Why would he take it right now? He's
Yeah.
running NXT. It's more successful right now, probably. I mean, as far as quality as
Wasn't
the main
it
roster.
Survivor Series last year? NXT outdrew Survivor Series
Yes.
on the WWE Network. Yeah, NXT literally beat Survivor Series on the WWE Network as far as
So
viewers.
who knows? He might have offered it to Triple H. Triple H said no. I mean, I would if I was Triple H right now.
Yeah, until you don't have to answer to Vince. Once you have the keys to the kingdom and you are the be all end all, everything filters through you. That's when you do it, man. But not
And
while.
I do think Paul Heyman's going to do a good job with Raw because Paul Heyman don't give a damn to step up to Vince.
Yeah.
We've seen that before. Eric, on the other hand, on SmackDown, I don't know how he will be with Vince, because...
Well, from what I hear, Bischoff's real role was revealed, and he's not actually involved in creative, like he was initially advertised.
I've seen that. I've seen he still is creative. I've seen 100 different things. I don't know what...
We'll have to wait and see. Yeah.
I mean, tonight SmackDown was pretty fun.
Tonight's SmackDown was really fun. Yeah, not to mention, after Raw having zero story development, to have the big...
And that does have... And that's another reason I didn't really like the Legend show. Why do it 3 weeks before SummerSlam?
Yeah, I mean, it was USA.
SmackDown.
USA pushed them to do it, and at the end of the day, Vince, may have to, like, all creative goes through Vince, but the Vince has to go through the network. You know what I mean? That's why on the conference call recently, Vince had to, like, essentially lie about the ratings slump.
Yeah.
Because...
And I know the 24/7 thing was USA too. They made a list, and that was the Legend show was part of it. But couldn't Vince have been like, hey, SummerSlams are... Some say second. I think the Royal Rumble is second biggest pay-per-view.
Yeah, no, it's WrestleMania, WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, SummerSlam, and then it's a toss-up between Money in the Bank and Survivor Series.
That's what I think, but some people argue SummerSlam second.
Yeah.
If I was Vince, I mean, he may have, don't get me wrong, but I would have tried to argue, can I at least wait a week or two after SummerSlam to put this show? Because you got Raw. SmackDown's leaving, yeah, but you're always going to have Raw. I think that hurt, because right now it feels like SmackDown's carrying SummerSlam because of that. I feel like.
No, I mean, you make a very good point. You do. Up until this week, up until probably like tonight, actually, really had no intrigue in SummerSlam. And now, after SmackDown, you got Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon, and then you have the potential Shawn Michaels and Dolph Ziggler. Those are the two big ones that come to mind for me.
And Charlotte apparently having a mystery opponent.
Yeah, so I missed that segment.
Okay, well, we'll get to that.
About to say, speaking of SmackDown, that's actually what we're talking about still.
Oh, yeah.
We would totally just went on like a half hour just wrestling. Hey, you know what? It's all good, man. Sometimes that's what you need, just talk about wrestling for a while. Yeah, so we were actually last talking about the Dolph Ziggler HBK setup. We said that HBK got super kicked by Ziggler. That came out to afterwards. Kofi came out to the ring. All night we've been teased. Kofi is actually going to challenge his challenger. He's going to name a challenger.
Actually, Ember and Charlotte was after.
See, I missed this part because of my signal, so go ahead, fill me in.
Well, Charlotte had 2 different segments.
Okay.
The first was Ember Charlotte. It was a 30-second match. Bailey's music hit. Ember rode Charlotte up. 1, 2, 3. Ember went out.
Ember beat Charlotte?
Yeah, it was a 30-second match. It was a roll-up.
Oh, man. Okay, go on.
Ember went out the ring and threw Bailey in the ring. And Charlotte started beating on Bailey. I mean, it was all messed up. I didn't know who was a face, who was a heel. Like, it was, she threw Bailey in there for Charlotte to hit, beat on her. All of a sudden, Ember gets back, hits Charlotte with the Eclipse, then hits Bailey with the Eclipse. And in my mind, triple threat SummerSlam, which
oh my
I wouldn't
God,
have
I
been.
missed all of this.
I wouldn't have been totally against triple threat because it is SummerSlam, and had a lot throwing fatal 4-ways, triple threats out there.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't have really cared if it was, but I found out later in the night it wasn't what they were setting up. So
okay, well you'll have to fill me in because, like I said, this was probably part where my signal went completely out because I went from Miz TV to the Kofi segment where he laid a challenge out to Randy Orton. I guess now, you say this actually was a really great promo. What I got out of it was Kofi's called out Randy. Randy came out to the ramp. Kofi said, back in 2005, I whooped your ass all over Madison Square Garden. At this point, my signal cut out, and I didn't actually come back till it was Kofi versus Joe with Orton at ringside. But I heard that Randy had some scathing words for Kofi, though.
yeah, he did. Kofi pretty much said that his push got stopped because Randy used his power backstage.
Oh,
and
shit.
Randy said, I did, because you wasn't ready and you're not ready now.
Damn! Oh my God!
He practically said, if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be WWE champion right now because I was the one who injured Ali.
No
So
joke.
he said that you should be thanking me.
Goodness gracious, man! I missed some heat on that microphone tonight.
Yeah,
dude.
it was great. It was great, and I think Orton's the perfect opponent for Kofi. One, Kofi's been getting these guys and don't get me wrong, I love Samoa Joe. Love it.
But they're not booking
But he's
Samoa
not-
Joe as a monster like he should be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we talked about Dolph, how his booking. KO before this face run, that now he's massively over apparently. He lost how many matches in a row before that? So
Man,
Kofi's
he does
not.
seem like a big deal, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean Orton, he's not really lost that many feuds lately.
He's been on a good resurgence ever since his feud with Jeff Hardy, with the
and that was
screwdriver
great.
through the
Hell in a
earlobe.
Cell match was great. It was long, but it was brutal, and I enjoyed it just because of how brutal it was. But,
And it really pushed that PG rating.
yes.
With Randy, yeah.
So not just Orton as far as legitimate opponent goes. They got the history, so much history between them, and
Yeah.
even with that history, right now at this moment, it's a fresh feud still.
No, that you're absolutely right. Yeah, like the Randy Orton Kofi feud would probably be the easiest one to build. They have so much footage. They have so much material. I mean, right away, I'm always struck with that memory of that match that they had where Randy was screaming at Kofi, calling him stupid because he missed a certain spot in the ring.
Randy actually tweeted something right after SmackDown, if I can find it, referring to that. Let's see. Okay. Party with pancakes, celebrate with syrup, seems pretty #stupid. That all the hard work from those 11 years will be gone in 3 seconds. #RKO.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
So, I mean, they got the history. It's a fresh feud right now. Orton is legitimate. Whether you're tired of Randy or not, I personally hate. I'm a fan of Randy Orton. And the best feuds are the ones that you can blend some reality to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this is one of them.
No, yeah, this title run for Kofi can either... at this point, I don't think it could flop. I think Kofi's title run is cemented now as a decent run at its worst.
It's not his opponents could be better, but he's still went out there and delivered in every match he's been in. That had a reasonable amount of time, I would say.
Yeah.
Not just title matches, but non-title matches. If he's in the ring, he's went out there and delivered.
Yeah, so like I said, at its worst, you would say that Kofi's title run is decent. It's how big are they going to build it now? And for me personally, I said that I love Kofi. I've said that my ideal position right now in the fantasy booking, in the whole I know better than what WWE is doing, by Survivor Series, I want to see Samoa Joe get that belt off him. I want to see Samoa Joe beat Kofi. Samoa Joe is a legit champ. He is fire on the microphone. Joe is just, he's better than 80%.
He's the best promo. He's the best promo.
Yeah. Yeah. At the biggest Samoa Joe haters, they could say that he's better than 80% of the roster. At his fans, they could say he's the best.
I don't know about Survivors. I don't know, and like I said, I love Joe. I don't know if you could repair him enough to make it seem.
At this point, you make a good point. Because I was saying
at
this
least
like
Survivor
a week
Series.
or two ago. Yeah.
Now, WrestleMania sometime next year, maybe. But and two, Survivor Series, are they doing Raw and SmackDown this year, or are they just throwing it out now? I don't.
It's hard to say, man. But
with this wild card rule, which is
I was calling this 2 weeks ago, and tonight makes it a little bit harder because of ultimately what happens with Joe later on in the show.
Yeah.
But Joe beating Kofi felt like a week or two ago the best thing that could happen. Joe comes out easily a huge heel, but then he's also talented on the mic, so he's captivating. He's going to catch your attention. You're going to pay attention to your world champion, which is what you should be doing. You should, when the world champion's speaking, you should give a shit. And Samoa Joe can do that. And then he can also... I give a shit
every time he speaks.
Yeah, yeah.
And that speaks volumes.
Yeah.
To lose as many matches as he does, but you still give a shit once he touches that mic.
Yeah, and then like I said, he also could be booked dangerously. But the thing is, he is like 0-8, 0-9 in world championship matches now. And
I think if they started post SummerSlam, went on a 4 or 5 month, thing, build them back up, maybe.
Maybe write him off for a month.
Maybe Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, I mean that's what worked for Kofi, right?
Yeah, and not just that. I mean, we've seen people win Elimination Chamber, and kind of. I mean, I don't want it to go the same way it went with Bray Wyatt if that happened. Don't get me wrong, but we've seen random title switches sometimes in the Elimination Chamber. So,
I mean it happened with Bray Wyatt. He looked good. The crowd got behind him, but at WrestleMania, obviously, management.
Yeah, I don't want it to go the same way.
No. But people initially, they cheered Bray Wyatt, especially when he gave that speech where he said, now he has the whole damn world in his hands, referring to the belt. And you could tell he'd been sitting on that for probably 2 or 3 years. That speech.
And who knows, maybe he wins the Rumble.
Yeah,
I mean, that's another way you can do it with
we've had a bunch of fan service at the Rumbles, so it wouldn't hurt to have a heel finally. You know what I mean? But yeah.
It's been a long time since we've had, Batista?
Yeah, it was probably the last one.
And they didn't even want him to be a heel at the time.
No, they had to force it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know when's the last time we got a legit heel.
It's a really good point. Let's get back onto the show. Not gonna lie, we're about an hour and 20 minutes into the show, so we're gonna go ahead and reveal the end of this whole Kofi Orton Joe segment. Culminated with Kofi having a match with Samoa Joe. Randy Orton obviously intrigued by this matchup because, he's has stipulations. He might be getting in on this. He sat at ringside. Match ends when Orton interferes, tries to hit an RKO on Kofi. One of the rare times out of nowhere the guy is able to avoid the RKO. They have a standoff. Kofi puts his hands up, standing off with Randy Orton. Eventually, Joe emerges. He looks like he is going to put the Coquina clutch on Randy. Randy hits that RKO on Joe as he gets up. He eats a Trouble in Paradise from Kofi. Kofi looks strong, as he should. Kofi's still the man. As much as we talked about who should take the belt off of Kofi, Kofi's still very strong with that world championship. Now we come to the highlight of the night. We're an hour and 20 minutes in. I said the highlight of the night with HBK and Dolph Ziggler, but we had another Firefly Funhouse segment.
God, I was so happy.
Oh, yes.
And it was a perfect way to accept that challenge.
Yeah, no, exactly. Finn Balor was in the ring having a generic interview. They were asking him, how do you feel about getting jumped by Bray Wyatt? Finn delivers, look, I don't know what's going on with this current Bray Wyatt because no one does, But if I'm scared, no, I'm not scared. I'll accept the fight. We get a Firefly Funhouse on the Titantron, and it's Bray Wyatt, not The Fiend. We get the friendly kid show host Bray Wyatt, and it was perfect. Such a good dichotomy. Bray admits that him, Ramblin' Rabbit, and Mercy the Buzzard are all fans of Finn Balor. But you know who's not a fan? The Fiend.
Yeah.
Fiend's not a fan. And Bray's going to accept the challenge on the behalf of The Fiend. He does the whole outro where he starts out sweet and then he gets dark. We cut to a little video segment transforming into The Fiend. The Fiend says, join us. Or let me in, excuse me. Let me in, not join us. But let me in. And, it's so good. So, we talked about this earlier. Finn Balor versus Bray Wyatt.
Finn said he wasn't scared, but how poetic was it to see him, just his face. His facial expression said he was scared.
Yeah.
How ironic is that from the guy that scared the hell out of everybody else with the demon?
Yeah, dude, he scared the shit out of fucking Baron Corbin.
Yes.
Yeah,
so
man.
I just found that poetic myself.
Oh, God, man. I like your point of view, bro. Yeah, it was something else, man. So I'm sold. Word behind the scenes is Finn Balor's going to take some time off. So rumor has it, whether it's normal Finn or Demon Finn, Bray Wyatt's probably going to go over here, which is arguably, you'll probably agree with me, it's what Bray needs. He needs a big win. Finn's a big win.
I think Bray's first loss in this character should be months down the line.
It should be after a world title victory. Calling it now.
I wouldn't mind. I would like. I don't know. I'd have to really think about how if this is what I would actually do if I had the pencil in my hand. But Kofi losing the belt to him at WrestleMania, that would be
sick.
Kofi
right?
Kofi have a year-long reign, strong, and he's strongly booked too. It's not one of these fluke battle reigns.
Kofi looks good as a champ right now.
Yes.
Yeah, he knows how to win.
And having Bray take that belt off him, I think that'd be great.
That'd be cool. I was originally saying when Extreme Rules went off the air, I was putting out the hashtag Save Us Bray. I wanted Bray Wyatt's Fiend because Paul Heyman, no man can beat the Beast. well, the
Yeah,
Fiend is no man. You know what I mean? Like, so I saw that as a cool matchup, but I at the end of the day, I don't see Brock Lesnar having chemistry with anyone that he's supposed to sell intimidation to. Brock
no,
Lesnar
not
is,
intimidation.
yeah, exactly, and that's how you would have to book it. You would have to have Brock Lesnar intimidated by the Fiend, and that's not an easy sell. So,
As far as selling, Brock will do it. We've seen it with AJ, Daniel, his matches with them. But as far as just being scared, no.
no, exactly. Um, so yeah, that's I quickly retracted from that, and I've yet to come up with an idea of how you get a world championship around the Fiend's waist. Kofi is a very good one, and I don't really have an argument against it. My
And I
argument,
guess, too, where the draft is kind of being rumored after the Fox deal happens.
yeah,
That would. But, I mean, if they do away with this brand split and keep this wild card rule, which is absolutely terrible.
oh god, no.
Yeah,
I want to keep the brand split, but you can't now that Raw
I
and
want the brand
SmackDown are
split.
going to be. No, see, the thing is you got too many superstars. You need to have.
If we do a full-on draft, not no shake-up, because that's worthless. A full-on draft with, I want to say Heyman and Bischoff, but they're off camera apparently
Right.
in that role. But just somehow make a draft happen and start from scratch. I mean, what's it gonna hurt? Your ratings are below 2 million at times right now.
Yeah.
So what's it
see,
gonna hurt?
I think Fox told Vince that they want SmackDown's ratings around 3 million.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um.
with this wild card rule, I don't see it. I know.
Hell no. And then Raw is staying on USA, I
USA.
believe.
Yeah.
So I think what happened was, if I recall this correctly, Fox was like, "Oh hell no, you can't keep your big stars on Raw. They got to be able to show up on SmackDown." And that's why we got the wild card, because to create the illusion of a brand split, but you can have your big guys go back and forth.
But what I'm hoping is USA and Fox now, since we've done that, see how bad these ratings have got.
Yeah.
And well, that's not going to work.
It's a good point, man. Very good point. And I agree with you 100%.
That's, by the way, was the Charlotte interview. Yes.
Yeah. Well, anyways, we said that the Firefly Funhouse did culminate with Bray Wyatt accepting the challenge on the Fiend's behalf, and then the Fiend made the appearance at the end of the segment, saying, "Of course, let me in." Then the main event was up next. Kevin Owens versus.
Charlotte.
Oh, okay,
Charlotte's
okay.
interview.
Charlotte's interview. Go ahead, fill me in on that. I missed that one.
It was just, she was back there. They asked her about what happened earlier. And like I said, when that happened, I thought it was going to be a triple threat. But she basically said, I can't believe Bayley picked Ember as her SummerSlam opponent. I'm going to be at SummerSlam. And my opponent's going to be better than Ember Moon.
Oh, damn. Okay.
So, I don't know. Sasha, maybe coming back.
Sasha,
I mean, they're in Canada. They can throw Trish Stratus out there.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
They like their legends.
I mean, the behind-the-scenes rumor is that Sasha's ready for a return.
I hope.
So, are you on the bend that you miss Sasha?
I think they need a boost right now, the women's division as a whole.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Sasha, but I'm not overly, honored. My brother, that's actually his favorite in the whole roster. But I'm not that high on her. But
Okay.
they need a boost. They need a boost.
I mean, they do. It's hard to say where it needs to come from, whether it needs to be from a star returning or better booking.
And it is someone that's legit. I mean,
Sasha, yeah, Sasha really is. I just, at the end of the day, I hate to say it, man, but at the end of the day, like, I haven't missed her.
And
You
that's
know,
something that they've been missing since really Ronda left. I mean, yeah, they got Charlotte, Bailey, Becky, Ember, Asuka, but she's on this
they
tag
haven't.
team division now.
They've yet to create a feud.
But it's so hard to do with just 4 people, I think.
No, you are absolutely right, man. Oh my god, I love having you on the show. You speak some goddamn truth. Um, yeah, it's hard. It's hard to
And
do.
there's talent on the undercard. Dana's improved from what I've seen from
I
her when she's
wanted
out there.
Dana to win that Money in the Bank. I
I mean, she's
really wanted
improved.
her
Don't get me
to.
wrong.
Yeah.
But I can't see Dana right now. In a year from now, maybe. But right now, I can't see her leading a 10-minute promo or, you know what I mean?
No, absolutely. I do agree. I do agree.
And like the Sarah Logans in the world, yeah, they're nice to have, but they got to improve before they're ready for, that.
Dana just had a big moment on main event. She got
Yes, I've
busted
seen.
open. She got busted
Yes,
open running into that ring post.
and she's improved. Like I
I
said, I've
felt
seen several work in
I felt like
main
there was
event.
stuff they could have done with her, but they're just passing because they weren't expecting her to have any momentum, so they
Yeah,
didn't have the effort to put into it. And that's kind of what frustrates me the most with these women is they're limiting their resources instead of following the wave of momentum. Because if you're
and another
following,
woman
huh?
I would love to see Sonya. I'm very high on Sonya.
Same here. Oh man, what about that moment at at Royal Rumble, Sonya between Asuka?
Oh,
Like that
dude,
seemed like
anytime they've been in a ring, I think they knock it out. Like they've had a
yeah,
couple,
they create
one-on-one
some
matches
damn
last year.
hype, man.
When Asuka had the belt, I was hoping for a Sonya Asuka, but she lost it to
Yeah.
Charlotte.
Well, anyways, coming back to the show, we'll go ahead and round it out here. The main event was between Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns. At this point, I kind of called it because I looked at the time, and it was 5 minutes until 10 o'clock. So I was like, yeah, this match ain't happening. Something else is going to happen. You had Shane McMahon, Drew McIntyre, and Elias all playing special guest referee, guest timekeeper, and guest ring announcer. Yes. And
Talk about overbooking.
yeah, way overbooking, exactly. The match starts. Kevin Owens hops on the mic, says, I'll tear through Roman, I'll tear through everyone else, and then Roman delivered the line to sell that they might actually wrestle when he was like, oh, you think you're going to go through me? Well, okay, then I'm going to have to whoop everyone's ass. Well, they lock up in a collar, elbow tie, whatever. They run to the ring, or the corner, excuse me. Drew McIntyre gets involved, separates them. This happens like one more time. Roman's had enough. Hits Drew McIntyre. Elias tries to get in the way. Kevin Owens hits Elias. So now it looks like we're setting up a tag match. But ultimately, Kevin Owens is forced out the ring. Shane McMahon gets in there. They all gang up on Roman for a minute. But Kevin Owens gets involved, gets Shane out there. Roman spears Drew McIntyre, I believe, and Kevin Owens gives a stunner to Elias. Shane McMahon tries to sneak out the back door. They catch him, pull him in. Shane McMahon receives not one, but two Stone Cold stunners. And that's how SmackDown went off the air. It's pretty much a guarantee. It's going to be the main story on SmackDown. KO versus Shane McMahon. And like we talked about at the open of the show, I'm hoping it's an I Quit match because it's fitting.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, I thought that's what they were going at when the promo started, and then they just never went that far with it, which they could add it in the next couple weeks.
Yeah,
So
no, the same here. We really like. You know what? I like talking to you, Sebastian. I'm gonna hit you up after the show, man, and talk about some
hit
other
me up,
stuff.
dude.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk about some other stuff with you. But for the sake of tonight's show, I mean, that was really it. We really went in every nook and cranny that we could cover. So I had one question that kind of popped up earlier in the night, and was, you said you are what, 24 going on 25-ish?
Yes, sir.
So in wrestling, obviously the Attitude Era is a talking point for a lot of people. Do you, at your age, do you feel like you missed out on a golden period of the show? Or is that like a Big Brother or Dad's era of wrestling and was just not your generation? Because the Attitude Era is held on a pedestal by so many people. But I've always wondered, like, what are people a little bit younger who didn't watch it in its prime? Is it held up to the same standard?
I've watched, like I said, I went back and I've watched a lot of major stuff, Hell in a Cell matches, a lot of Austin's work, him and Brett's match at Mania.
So you've put some effort into it. Dude,
yeah, I went back and I've watched a lot. I don't know, it's different because, well, one, it's just a different day and age. Back in the day, obviously, the women were treated different. And
oh man, that's the biggest, easiest thing to point out. Yeah, how they treated women was.
Yeah, and I know people that's not a fan of women's wrestling.
Yeah.
I love women's wrestling. I like watching two ladies go out there have a 20-minute match.
You sound like a gentleman, man. You sound like such a gentleman.
Bayley versus Sasha at TakeOver. Amazing.
Oh, one of the best women's matches of all time, bro. You're talking the Brooklyn match, right? The reverse Frankensteiner match?
Yes.
Oh.
I'd rather watch that as far as it comes to a wrestling product. If I wanted to see a half-naked girl, I'd go watch porn.
Back in the day, we didn't have Pornhub. Yeah. We didn't have... So they were really capitalizing on an untapped market there.
Yeah, I guess
I'll give them that.
Yeah, I guess back in the day. But there's just so much that's different from today's day and age compared to back then.
It's so different, man, ain't it?
Right now I'm going back. I started the SummerSlam 02 because, like I said, I didn't start watching 03. And I'm watching every Raw and SmackDown and pay-per-view.
Okay.
When I can. I'm not spending all day on it, just when I can. I've only made it to Vengeance 02. I only made one pay-per-view so far. And I've loved it. I mean, the match quality, like, they can go out there in a 5-minute match and still make it entertaining. What I've watched from the 4 Raws or SmackDown from the Attitude Era, unless it's Stone Cold or Taker or one of the big names, they struggle to go out there and have a good 5-minute entertaining match. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm sorry if I sound quiet. I'm actually trying to look up a certain event to ask if you've seen it because it's one of the best Attitude Era pay-per-views. So I was letting you fill the airtime.
But just, it depends on what you want, I guess. Pure entertainment, I'd probably go to Attitude Era.
Okay.
But match quality-wise, and that's what... I'm kind of 50-50. I love good matches, but like tonight's SmackDown, it was light in... I mean, Apollo and Shinsuke was good. Good TV match, nothing wrong with it. And Kofi and Joe was nothing wrong with it. It just, it was there, and it was more about Orton and Joe. But, like, there's an episode of SmackDown, Hardy had a 7-minute match, and it was a good match, it's a good 6-7-minute match. But guys of that quality, and I'm not saying they're bad, but that low on the card, I don't feel like could do that in the Attitude Era as consistently.
No, you're right.
I've watched so far.
So what I was asking is probably one of the best Attitude Era matches that's available. I'm going to put this on the air. You know what? I'm going to put it on the air for you, Sebastian. Why not have an impromptu challenge / opportunity? And We can cut it out if it doesn't work, anyways. The Armageddon 2000 pay-per-view is arguably one of the best Attitude Era pay-per-views ever.
The Hell in a Cell.
The Hell in a Cell. Yes!
Yeah.
Yes! I say you and I go ahead and review that pay-per-view, bro.
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'll reach out to you, man. I'll reach out to you. We'll do a special episode over the next week or so.
Are we wanting to do just the pay-per-view or watch like a little bit of the build toward it?
Probably just watch the
How do you
pay-per-view.
want it? Okay.
Probably just watch the pay-per-view, record, you know what I mean, just do a little recap of the Armageddon 2000 pay-per-view.
Okay.
Because, you know, the way the show works is Rob can't record till Tuesday night, so Raw and SmackDown go live on Wednesday, and then 205 Live NXT go live Thursday. That leaves Friday through Monday, Tuesday.
Then Monday you're watching Raw. So.
Yeah, no content. So, how about this? How about I'll reach out to you sometime over the next week or two. You and I need to cover Armageddon 2000, one of the best Attitude Era pay-per-views, one of the best Attitude Era pay-per-view matches of all time. Tickled me pink when you knew exactly what I was talking about, though. Like, seriously, it was like so good. Don't know how to close the show, bro, but that was our show, SmackDown.
Anytime reviewing a show, anytime you need me for our SmackDown, just I'm to talk wrestling anytime.
Yeah, you know what? Okay, so let's just do this. Let's plug ourselves, and then I'll hit the music. You guys, thank you for following us tonight. Thank you for watching our recap of the SmackDown episode. Once again, hit us up on Twitter at SmackDrawPod. Otherwise, you can reach me at The Kai Tai Show, Benji at Calavera Comedy, at Rob Rude at, oh, God knows, at Two Words Can't See Me. That is 2TWO, the letter C, and then, of course, I'll let you, Sebastian, plug yourself.
The highly original at WrestlingFan_32.
I love it, dude. Anyways, y'all have a good night.